As a certified Luxurious King enthusiast, I think we have already established that Jordan went up against a Mickey Mouse era filled with plumbers and assistant principals.
He did a turnaround, finger roll, no look. We done with the 90s.
But that got me thinking, what if Jordan had real competition? What if instead of going up against fake Hall of Famers such as John Stockton and Karl Malone, what if instead Jordan had to go up against a true baller? The epitome of ballin'. Sell. However, before we get to that, we gotta lay the foundation and change some settings. Following the 1997 NBA Finals, the league was in shambles. They just witnessed Jordan winning back-to-back titles once again, as he hoisted his 5th NBA title in his last 5 full seasons. All the GMs are crying in their car as they know there's nothing they can do to stop Jordan from three-peating once again. But luckily for the GM of the Orlando Magic, he was approached by a random old man. This man being Dr. Garrow. Dr. Garrow pressed the GM, telling him that he's literally running a Mickey Mouse organization. The GM was perplexed by this. Dr. Garrow then stated that if he gives him a chance, he can deliver a championship to the franchise. At the time, the GM was still depressed from Shaq's decision to join the Lakers, so he accepted the offer. Now, if you watch NBA, you would know that both the Bulls and Magic are in the Eastern Conference, so for storyline purposes, we're going to need to change this. We can't change the team Sal would play for because everyone knows that if Sal was in the NBA, he would play for the Orlando Magic. And changing this would be both shameless and unrealistic. But don't worry, I got a perfect solution. One night in the offseason while David Stern was sleeping, a man busted into his house and demanded he move the Orlando Magic to the Western Conference. This man being Future Trunks. Stern declined, saying he doesn't have time for such nonsensical requests from a goofy breaking into his house. Trunks pleaded that he must, as it's the only way the NBA could survive. But Stern stood on business and declined again. Trunks then pulls out 15 inches of stainless steel to Stern's neck, telling him he ain't giving a request, he's giving a demand. Stern, now having no choice, accepts the conditions. Skipping all the filler being the regular season and the playoffs, we reach the 1998 NBA Finals, featuring the Chicago Bulls and Orlando Magic. Chicago Bulls being the two-time defending champion, still having their main core intact, including players like Pippen, Rodman, and obviously Jordan, while the Orlando Magic boasted players like Shaq and Penny Hardaway. But Shaq was on the Lakers in 1998. True, but thanks to Dr. Garrow masterclass, none of the players on the Magic were actually real. They were all androids modeled off the 1995 Magic team that made the finals. Not only that, but Dr. Garrow was also carrying around a larva for the whole season, which just so coincidentally morphed into a being known as Imperfect Cell prior to the tip-off of the 1998 NBA Finals. You can call that an ass pull, but I call it peak writing. Game 1. Cell makes his debut and puts up an absolute stinker class, running around doing nothing. Cell, just getting his new form, had no understanding of the game of basketball, so why the hell the coach even put him in? That's cause Dr. Garrow had the green light to run the franchise however he wanted, and forced the coach to give Cell minutes. Shaq and Penny did all they could with the liability on their team, but would ultimately fall short. Jordan and the Bulls would take advantage of the short-handed Magic and take an easy 1-0 series lead. Game 2. After receiving heavy interest from the Shanghai Sharks, Cell is once again given the start for the Orlando Magic. And just like the last game, the Magic find themselves down at the half as they remained handicapped with Cell's inability to play ball. In the Magic locker room, the coach has had enough and rips into Dr. Garrow, calling him some very, very bad words for forcing him to play Cell. Cell takes matter into his own hand and absorbs the coach, evolving into semi-perfect Cell and gaining knowledge for the game of basketball. The energy shifts in the second half as Cell is no longer a liability on the court. Although he still lacked the skill set to create his own shot, Cell now had a perfect understanding on how to run offensive and defensive schemes, setting screens, getting boards, and shutting down all of Jordan's move by forcing him to go left. The Magic, with the offensive firepower of Shaq and Penny, were able to come back in the second half and win the game, tying the series at 1-1. Game 3. Jordan was pissed after losing his last paycheck on Red and also getting held to 4 points in the second half by some goofy who couldn't even shoot a ball. He took this personal and came out on demon timing. The Magic expected Cell to lock up Jordan once again, but they were dead wrong. Jordan introduced Cell to levels of the game. So far, Cell only knows about the fundamentals of the game, which is the most basic level of the game. Jordan showed that beyond fundamental lies creativity and instinct, Jordan drives with conviction with up and unders, crossover, contested fadeaways, and even changing hands mid-air. Sel had no clue what he was witnessing. This level of basketball was beyond his basic understanding and rendered him virtually useless. Shaq and Penny tried to help, but it was too late. Jordan had already activated his takeover. Inevitably, the Magic would lose this game as Jordan would put up 50, giving the Bulls a 2-1 series lead. Game 4. Jordan is having fun and continue his onslaught on the Magic, outscoring the entire team by halftime. The Magic had no answer. They couldn't make any adjustment. There was simply nothing they could do to stop Jordan. Since they had no way of stopping Jordan, they only had one option, and that's just simply outscoring the Bulls. However, this wouldn't be possible with Sel's lack of offensive capability, as the Bulls' game plan allowed them to double Shaq. So in the locker room, Shaq pressed Sel and Dr. Garrow, demanding that they run a 5 that can actually help him. Dr. Garrow agreed. The team was being held back, not by Sel, but by everyone else. Dr. Garrow, knowing that if they would lose this game, they would end up losing the series, as only player regarded as the GOAT would ever come back from 3-1 in the finals. Dr. Garrow instructed Sel to absorb the entire roster, in which morphed Sel into the baller we all know, Perfect Sel. Gaining the skill set of shooting, dribbling, dunking, and everything else, Sel comes out in the second half all by himself, running a 1v5, but that didn't matter. His speed and reaction time allowed him to force turnover before Jordan can even touch the ball, while also shooting a perfect 30 for 30 in the second half, finishing with 65 points, an NBA final record. Sel stunned the entire world by coming back to beat Jordan and the Bulls by himself, to once again tie the series at 2-2. Game 5. Sel continued his dominance, remaining perfect and preventing Jordan from getting the ball. The Bulls were down 30 heading into the locker room at halftime. Steve Kerr attempted to motivate the team, but Jordan was having none of that, as he gave him a nasty elbow to the jaw. Jordan told the team they weren't needed anymore and kicked them all out of the arena. Jordan then made a call to an old friend, telling him it's an urgent matter. As halftime ends, Sel and Jordan meet face to face in the center court. Sel asks, "Yo, where's your team?" Jordan replies, "They should be here." Sel was confused. Jordan was by himself. Did Jordan also possess the power to absorb his teammates? Then suddenly, Jordan's old friend arrived. It was Bugsy Bunny in him. Jordan's team has obtained a level above perfection, one that would actually compete with Perfect Sel, a level that transcends the sport of basketball itself and into the realm of fiction. Everything the Toon Squad had to offer, they put it onto Sel's dome, defying gravity, bombs, goofiness all around. There was nothing more Sel could have done, as the Toon Squad completed a remarkable comeback and helping Jordan take a 3-2 series lead. Alright, that's enough bullshit. Time to put pen to paper and close out this historic series. Game 6, a specialty of Jordan, known for his killer mentality of never even allowing a finals to get to a Game 7. Backed up with his Toon Squad super team, they continued where they left off in the previous game. But Sel tries to hold his own, recovering from everything the Toon Squad throws at him and keeping himself in the game. The gap between Jordan's Toon Squad and Sel slowly increases, leading up to the final 5 minutes of the game, where Sel is down 20. This is it. Clutch time. Jordan's domain. Sel, knowing that he is outmatched and on the verge of losing, does the unspeakable. Sel absorbs the entire Toon Squad, transcending to a level above perfection. Super perfect Sel, leaving just Jordan to duel it out. Unfortunately for Jordan, if it's a 1v1, always bet on Sel. For all things ballin' is Sel, and Sel is all things ballin'. Sel, already being bigger, faster, and stronger than Jordan, is now equipped with a skill set that is beyond the realm of imagination. Sel quickly shortens the gap, leading up to the final possession where the game is tied and the ball is in Jordan's hand. Even with all the abilities that Sel has harnessed from absorbing his coach, his teammates, and the Toon Squad, there was still one that stood out amongst all that being Jordan's main ability, one that cannot be taught or trained, the killer mentality. Jordan on his final possession drives to the high post and gives Sel a nasty stiff arm. The ref don't see it. I mean, they haven't seen anything all series. Sel tries to recover and prevent the shot, but it was too late. Jordan had already released the shot, and without a single doubt in anyone's mind, Jordan made the shot to win the game. Or so he thought. Sel ain't no dummy. He knew that no matter what he did, Jordan would have made the shot. He purposely stepped back on the stiff arm to give Jordan an open shot. This light window made it so that there was half a second left on the clock when the shot was made, giving Sel one last chance. Sel inbounds the ball, but Jordan was already lined up right in front of him mid-air at its 48-inch vertical apex, giving Sel absolutely no room to put up a shot. It didn't matter if it was offense or defense. Jordan would secure his victory. Sel is in disbelief. Kidding. Sel was never going to shoot the ball. With one single step, he takes off, dragging Jordan's body across the entire court, dunking it for a 3-pointer, sealing the game, forcing a Game 7, a territory in which Jordan has never experienced before. As Jordan lays beneath Cell on the verge of tears, astonished on what just happened, asked, "But how?" Cell stood over Jordan and proclaimed with chilling certainty, "Because Jordan, like a soon-to-be broken man once said,
you're either perfect or you're not me."
Game 7, the best 2 words in sports. The stage is set, the grandest stage. As perfection takes on perfection, only one will prevail. Everybody who is anybody is in attendance. The real MJ, Skip Bayless, young Kobe, younger LeBron, and even the god of basketball himself made an appearance for such a historic bout. Right before the game, Jordan had to even the odds. He had no chance of competing with Cell in his current state. Jordan downed 50 liter of his secret stuff, coming out to tip off laced to the brim off that good shit. These two beings are virtually equal, trading haymakers throughout the game, with neither one of them showing any signs of slowing down, until the start of the 4th quarter, where the effects of Jordan's secret stuff starts to wear off. Jordan's body starts to break down. It can no longer keep up with the intensity and effort put forth by Cell. Cell takes full advantage of this and goes full shameless mode. On his next drive, he elbows Jordan in his rib cage. This was the final blow. Jordan's body couldn't sustain it anymore. Jordan goes down and is unable to get back up. Essentially a horrific conclusion to an all-time great series. With no players left available, the Bull had no choice but to forfeit the game. Cell starts celebrating after claiming the rightful title of the greatest being to ever touch a basketball. Cell is stunned. He realized that job's not finished. A young Kobe enters the game from the stand, and there was no mistake about it. Everyone in the arena can sense it. The potential this young man harnesses is similar to that of Jordan, as Kobe also possesses the killer mentality. The match resumes. Kobe, off pure raw emotion alone, starts pulling away from Cell. Cell had no answer to such potential, combined with the attributes of youthfulness. However, with youthfulness comes inexperience. After going on a run and establishing a decent lead, the potential of Kobe fades away. Kobe puts up air balls on 3 straight possessions as Cell quickly capitalizes and takes the lead. With 5 minutes left in the game, Kobe is rendered virtually useless, and Jordan remained on the bench, having yet to recover. Luckily, the top Jordan Glazer is in the building, and just so happened to have a sensu bean on him. But due to his lack of talent, he underthrows this. All hope is lost. But suddenly, a voice called out,
"Come on, Jordan, find a way. I entrusted everything to you. My pride, my promise, everything. I won't always fail you. Trespass into the domains of the god and use that might to conquer Cell. Do it, Jordan!"
Anyways, the GOAT's motivational speech was enough to re-energize Jordan. This is it. 5 minutes left and everything Jordan has to offer. Jordan at his absolute peak, with his body falling apart, tries to push a final comeback against Cell. But despite his best efforts, Jordan is unable to close the gap, as Cell remains perfect. Absolute. The epitome of ballin', for no mortal can ever beat Cell one-on-one. With the final 2 minutes left, all hope is lost. The basketball world realizes that Jordan is no match for Cell, and that Cell's perfection will ultimately be the demise of the sport itself. Skip Bayless cries, his GOAT is officially a fraud! With the clock ticking, a familiar voice can be heard. Hold up, this man is black! Trunks has returned, and with him, he brought the Black Mamba. Future Kobe, from a timeline in which Cell won and destroyed the game he once loved. The last hope of the universe, Kobe and Jordan team up to take down Cell once and for all. Kobe hits a big shot, Jordan hits a bigger shot. Kobe hits the biggest shot, Jordan hits the biggest shot. As they somehow manage to take a 2-point lead with 5 seconds remaining. They guard Cell full court, but even that's not enough to stop perfection. Cell once again takes off, but this time dragging both Kobe and Jordan full court and dunking up both of them and one with 2 seconds remaining. Jordan comes up with a plan to give Kobe, his successor, the final shot. As Cell hits his free throw, Jordan throws a Hail Mary into Kobe's hand. Kobe pulls up, but miraculously, Cell gets back in time to contest the shot, so Kobe fades away. But even then, Cell has him completely covered. Kobe has no room to shoot. Kobe smiles and informs Cell that you forgot one thing. I might. In the biggest moment of the biggest game, Kobe passes the ball. He never passes the ball. He lobbed it to Jordan, who came running full court. Jumpman takes off from the 3-point line with a ball in his hand, game in his hand, series in his hand, universe in his hand. Jordan puts that in. What are you talking about? Absolute cinema. Cell is embarrassed. He cannot fathom with the fact that he lost to some foolish mortals. For Cell, existing and ballin' is one. Cell, with absolute no sense of shame, decides to blow up. If he can't be the epitome of ballin', nobody can. The god of basketball was having none of it, and drops a Hawkeye on Cell, erasing his existence. Jordan and the basketball world celebrates as his airness claims his 6th final MVP, remaining a perfect 6-0 in the finals. Jordan thanks Kobe as he returns to his timeline. Skip Bayless is soaking wet. He presses up against a middle school LeBron and tells him he can never be the GOAT, as even if Cell played in the 90s, Jordan would still come out on top. There was probably like thousands of plot holes in that.
Bruh.
If you're still watching, I hope you enjoyed. I might make more of these, I don't know. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your old head uncle to spread the word.
Tell me what you see. Is it money or it's me? I smoke 20, smell the weed.